everyone, welcome back to Legends of Podcasting. I'm Stuart.
I'm Ross.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Liam.
And we're here for a special remote reaction to the fourth Matrix movie, The Matrix Resurrections. Should we keep trying to remember that title?
Got to keep those that R theme going.
Yeah, Jonathan Ross must hate this movie franchise so much.
Resurrections.
Another one!
Resurrections.
Resurrections.
Resurrections. So literally, I think it dropped today, right? So we literally just...
Yep, it dropped today. Dropped this morning for me, I think.
2 p.m. for us.
Yeah. So haven't seen it.
No.
I don't think any of us have looked at any spoilers for this trailer so far, and we haven't seen any of the images. Haven't seen anything. So we're going into this cold. Exactly. So
plugged in. That's what we're going in. We're going to get unplugged in a minute when we sit.
So we've talked about Matrix before, like a while ago when they first announced this. We talked about it, but let's just first of all, Matrix. Ross, you weren't here with us last time, so we'll start with you. What are your memories of them? Because it's been years since the Matrix movie. What are your memories of the Matrix?
I mean, the first one is an instant classic.
Hell yeah!
Freaking loved the first.
Revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was thinking that's not the title of it.
Yeah, no, that's what it should have been called.
That's what it should have been called.
Revolutionary.
Yeah, I remember coming out of the cinema like that, just mind blown. Like it literally just made you question everything. It was so good. And then everyone was talking because I was at school at the time. We all were, I think. And they rewatched it on like VHS back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. And then the sequel came out. I saw that in the cinema. And I do enjoy that movie. It's not as good as the first one, but I do enjoy it. The action's pretty good in it.
It still, for me, has one of the greatest fight scenes on that stairwell with all the weapons. I watch that fight scene all the time. It's so well shot.
Because you also got the one where he fights all the Agent Smiths, but
that hasn't aged too well.
No, the CGI does look a bit robbery, doesn't it? It's a bit.
But the other one where it's like on the stairwell.
But it was amazing at the time.
Yeah, at the time it was.
At the time, yeah.
When did it? Because the first one was 1999, wasn't it?
It's about 2002, 2003. Because I was at uni at the time, and I remember going to see it in the cinema there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then the third one
was a year after.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's trying to be too overcomplicated for its own good sometimes.
I kind of felt like the first one was a perfect package for me, like you say. I was blown away by it. Groundbreaking special effects that were copied by every film for the next 10 years in that.
Yep.
And then it was a great mixture of like philosophy and anime references and all kinds of stuff that I was coming into at that point in my life, and it was like, oh, this is fantastic. And it's responsible for me learning karate for about 5 years, which is great. So I immediately wanted to go out and learn kung fu, but there was no kung fu schools near I was, so I had to stick with what I had.
The wrong disc.
The wrong disc.
Someone's overwritten it.
But like you said, Ross, I remember watching 2 and 3 back to back recently, and just like they tried to cram too much in and make it go somewhere that I don't think the original was going in that direction, unless I'm completely wrong. But it just.
I mean, I would have been happy if they'd have made the first one and didn't make any others, because you could interpret it the way you wanted, and I think it's because it made so much money. You're like, well, we have to make more. They didn't really need
the first one was a perfect standalone movie.
Yeah,
that absolutely can exist on its own perfectly. Yeah. When it came to the sequels, they expanded that universe so insanely, and you had the Animatrix that went with it as well.
The Animatrix was awesome. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was brilliant.
Like they went well deep into like the Zion city, didn't they? Because in the first one it's mentioned, but then the second and third one's pretty much based around saving that. So they spent loads of time there outside of the Matrix, and it was like, okay. Just plug in and go to the Matrix. I want to see the cool stuff. That's what...
the first one as well. Like, actually, if you go back and watch a lot of our reactions, I quote that movie all the time. Like when something happens, I'm like, he's beginning to believe.
Well, it's such a perfect line, isn't it? I mean,
it's so good.
Yeah.
And even when I get deja vu, I instantly think of the Matrix. The black cat.
Yes, absolutely.
All the time. Like, wait, they're changing something. What's going on?
The Matrix is reloaded.
I mean, you say that. I had a friend at university in my first year halls who found out uni was doing jiu-jitsu courses, and he went, "I'm going to learn jiu-jitsu," and I just opened the door and went, "Show me." Just like...
What's his name? What was his name?
Oh, who was it? It was Alex, I think.
Alex, you like, and somebody else walks in and goes, "Alex is Robert's playing Alex." And everyone runs it.
Yeah, everyone just.
It does have loads of great moments in it. Even the bit with the girl with the red dress. Every time I see a girl with the red dress, I'm just like, Matrix.
Yeah.
Vice's programmed it.
Yeah.
Distracting.
So
for me,
the first movie. Go on.
I was going to say, I don't think I was on the podcast that you guys did with Ant, but The Matrix has always been in my top 10 films of all time. It's like that good for me.
It's an excellent movie. So the first one could have worked as a standalone movie, but then as a trilogy, they did wrap up the story at the end of that third movie, which is why I don't think anyone predicted that they were going to do a fourth Matrix movie, let alone one that has Keanu Reeves in it as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking with this, again, we've never seen anything, but I'm kind of thinking there must have been lots of scripts thrown at Keanu Reeves over the years being like, we want to do one. It's not like he's short of money. He's got like the John Wick like thing going on. So I'm assuming that this script must be something, I'm not going to hype up too much, but it must be something special for him to be like, oh yeah, that's actually a really cool idea. We should do that. Because it kind of is so long ago. To bring it back now, there must be a good reason.
So
yeah, hopefully.
The end of the third movie then, let's recap there. How did it end? The end of the third Matrix movie, what happened to Neo?
So Neo got killed, right? He got wiped from existence, and then because he stopped Agent Smith by sacrificing himself, which then stops the war, which meant Zion could live. So that he saved.
But then the machines take his body. Don't they?
Yeah. Because he was
there's a bit at the end as well with the architect and the Oracle.
Yeah.
And then the little girl goes, "Will we ever see Neo again?" She goes, and she says something like, "Yeah, of course," or like, "Never say never," or something like that. So they hint that he's not God.
Because the whole point was that it was the Matrix was a continual cycle, and the one was always reborn every couple of generations as a stopgap to help reset the Matrix every time it was going on. But Neo bargained for the humans to be free by, like you say, sacrificing himself to stop a rogue Agent Smith that was busy fucking up the entire network. If only the machines had better antivirus.
Because the one thing I always worried when the creator was telling him, "This is the 6th time we've done this." And like, first of all, it was a perfect utopia, wasn't it? And then they realised that that's not what humans can live on. So they had to change it. I always wondered that every time the one showed up, was it
the Keanu
guy who looked like Keanu Reeves? Is it always the same person, or is it a different person every time?
That's something I always thought when they said that they were basically the one was part of the program. It's like, okay, is it the clock ticks over to a certain point? Now they've grown Neo, or AKA, in the tube again, and then
Mr. Anderson.
He goes through the same process he always has, and it's the same guy. So I kind of wonder if that's where they're going with this.
If that was the case,
that's what I think, because they're doing it, or is it because he's not going to be the one, but everyone, the audience is always going to think, "Oh, he's the one." And it isn't. It's going to be somebody else in this film, and they'll flip it right at the end.
Don't know. Because you run the risk with this one, I think, again, even though they tried to wrap up the story, they left it ambiguous with how the humans and machines are going to interact going forward. So you run the risk of, if, like you said, Stu, if this script must be on par for them to do this, of otherwise you mess up the what happened next kind of thing.
Yeah.
So before we jump in and watch this trailer, any theories? Like, we've discussed theories previously on it, so let's just recap a little bit here. So any theories what we think the movie's going to be like? Previously we discussed the idea that maybe it's a Inception or Existence kind of thing, where he never actually left the Matrix. It's the Matrix inside the Matrix. So maybe
that's crazy.
You've got something like that going on. Or maybe this is along the lines of what you were saying just now, Ross, that maybe there's a new chosen one, a new one that is what this movie is going to be about. Or maybe it's
John Wick
people 4. It's along the lines of like Force Awakens, like the search for Skywalker. It's the search for Neo. Neo is somewhere in the Matrix, and you've now got people that are choosing to go into the Matrix, and when they're in it, they want to find the one who is somewhere.
Like they were trying to find the Oracle in the original ones. Okay,
yeah.
I'm interested.
So do we have any other theories? So we've had those. Those were ones that we discussed previously. Before we jump in and watch it,
a continuation of the old one where the machines kind of left the real human race alone, but the Matrix is still going on. And when they took Neo's body, they replugged him back in, and he's in this artificial world still. But then the real humans get double-crossed, and they realize that they need Neo back, so they're trying to go back into the Matrix and find him for some reason.
Because you've really only got the machine's word that they were going to honour that when they took him at the end of the Matrix. This could be they've just plugged him into another virtual world, which is why I've seen that first image of the trailer that looks very video gamey. That this is like they've just put him in another virtual world where he thinks everything he wants to happen's happened. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. What if he is now the architect? So what if for some reason he's seen a need for the Matrix to exist, a need for it to be there, so he's now become an architect. Maybe that's the cycle, that the one becomes the architect, and then another one comes and replaces the architect.
Maybe when he got plugged back in, he created the world that he wanted.
Well, I thought that was always part of their plan, wasn't it? Because the deal that was offered when he went through the door and got the architect talking bollocks at him for 15 minutes at the end of the end of the film was he got to choose between the whole world getting destroyed or Zion gets destroyed, but he can take like 10, 20 people to start the next run, which is why the Oracle always says, oh, there was one at the start of our generation that knew how to unplug people from the Matrix. He taught us the first things we knew, and then that sort of stuff. And then the previous one becomes the first person in the new generation sort of thing. I always thought that was what the point was. That was the choice.
That architect thing I always get confused. I did a parody version with
Concordantly, vis-a-vis.
With
Will Ferrell.
Yeah. No idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's so cool. I always remember that. That's the bit I created Froggo. You remember Froggo? Yes.
I didn't create Frogger, but I came up with the name for it. Can you believe they wanted to call it Highway Crossing Frog?
Oh, man,
all right, guys.
Let's go.
Should we watch the trailer?
Should we watch the trailer, and then we shall speculate like hell afterwards.
Thomas?
Oh yeah, this does look artificial.
You seem
Black Cat!
Black Cat.
Oh no!
Right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't
Thomas.
Oh, is he getting visions?
Am I crazy?
Oh, he's back in the Matrix.
Word in here.
Oh, so
Is this John Wick 4?
John Wick meets Neo.
Okay.
Hi.
Huh?
Have we met?
Oh, he's taking the blue pills.
All the blue pills.
So they've all been reinserted, haven't they?
Looks like it.
Oh wow.
Oh, you're meant to take them a day to keep yourself going.
He stops taking.
Oh, there's a reference.
Whoa! Was that the architect?
What the hell?
Did they recast Morpheus?
You're going to have to follow me.
No, it might be a new Morbius.
Oh.
What the hell?
To you, it's still here. I know it's why you're still fighting, and why you will never give up. You don't know me.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
I think he might still be the one, boys.
Yeah. You might still have that power.
Well, the machines are obviously still harvesting. Jesus.
The graphics on this is going to look amazing. Oh, the agents. Oh, wow.
What the hell?
Okay.
Oh man, this will be another level of
Taking
fighting.
some Kristen Nolan pills there.
Oh, that looked like the subway. They're going to fly.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Okay.
The hell's that guy?
Well, it looks interesting.
All right.
It's this year.
Yeah, Christmas time.
Yeah,
Oh,
Christmas.
whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
I mean, okay.
So,
right.
so he goes
he-
back into the Matrix. So what we see here, Neo is choosing to go back into the Matrix.
He doesn't know who he is.
So-
So he calls himself Thomas.
Trinity doesn't recognize him.
No.
So is Trinity just a program, or is Trinity?
There was a scene where there was green code screaming down her face.
Yeah.
So like, maybe she's.
Yeah.
If he's starting to question his reality, maybe they put her back in to stop him if he was going down that machine, still controlling him route. Like, oh, let's get Trinity back.
I thought I saw a bit when there's a bit where she's inside one of those
Pods. Yeah.
pods at like 2 minutes 54 with like a shaved head. So
I think they've all been. It's not the same Neo and it's not the same Trinity from the first movies. They have been. The whole world has been remade, and they have been remade as well. But because the memory of the Matrix is still in there somewhere, like it's never properly deleted when it gets remade, their memories are still kind of connected to the Matrix, and they're getting their former selves their memories are coming to it. And then he's got a very similar drive like he did in the first one, where he heard of the Matrix and he was trying to find out what it was. And then he's going to be doing a similar thing in this, but I think he might get his memories from the old one.
So his reflection was different at a brief moment.
Yeah,
he looked like
old,
someone else,
didn't it? Yeah.
So is that?
At first, I thought he looked like the creator, just because he turned into like a white beard. That's what I instantly thought of.
Yeah. It's what is this? 1 minute 3 or something. 1 minute.
Yeah. 1 minute
Well,
5 seconds.
With the whole blue pill thing. So he's taken blue pills, and then, which obviously must keep you like dormant and not start thinking too much, and then at some point he throws the pills away. Like I'm not taking these.
Stops taking them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a red pill from a young Morpheus. We assuming that still knows who he is.
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of here is that he, like we were saying before. Sorry. Before the trailer started, was if he helped to build this new world, because do you remember the machine said in the Major Matrix we kept it going at the peak of your civilization before we reset it, so it's 1999 to 2000, so it's all like analog and old stuff, and there's that scene in the elevator where they've got all those tablets, so it's obviously moved on a bit. If he's as part of his deal, he's built this new world for humans to live in, but then he's chosen to take the blue pills to forget, so he can go back to living a normal life rather than being the one. Yeah. But something or someone's taken over all that function from him, so now they need him back to help rebuild it.
The other thing that makes me think, when he was looking at that reflection and it was somebody else, is that because it's somebody else? Like when you look at them in the pod with the thing in the back of their head, it is that guy. But he has been given Neo's memories.
Yeah, could be.
So he's seeing himself as Neo in the Matrix, it's like his memories,
quantum leap.
Yeah, and then when he actually comes out of it, it's going to be that other person.
It's what I was thinking. Like, is it that in a way it's almost like he's reincarnated?
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. That's why it's called Resurrection.
Yeah.
Because they had that whole thing about the reason why Neo looks the way he does in the Matrix is residual self-image, where that's how you saw yourself in the program. Yeah. That's why you look that way. So if they've put his consciousness in another body, he still thinks he looks like Neo. So,
but he's not, and that's why when he sees the reflection in that mirror, that might be the same mirror that he just had to walk through, because he walks through a mirror, doesn't he, in the other scene?
Yeah.
That's where he sees himself.
I mean, all I know is it looks really cool. I'm actually really
I'm intrigued. I really am intrigued.
Before, but now I'm really intrigued about how, and like if the graphics were good back then, like
it's going to look phenomenal now.
Yeah,
the action's going to look.
Begs the question then, like obviously the original Matrix had a ton of groundbreaking special effects they built solely for that movie, with the bullet time and the circle cameras. Do you think they've gone all out on this and gone, right, we won't just make it a generic action film, we won't just have the same stuff you've seen for the last 10 years. should we put something? They've built something entirely new that we're going to see again, which is going to really excite everyone. I hope that's what I want to see.
Maybe that's why they were waiting so long.
I think they're just going to do a lot of CGI, because it's a lot easier to do some really convincing CG now. So I think that's what we'll see a lot more of. I think there'll be parts of it that look more like a computer game. That's the cynical part of me here. Well, I think there's going to be bits of it where end up looking like a computer game, because you're looking at it and you're like, it's impossible to have shot that. But it will look great because the technology's there now. I'm not trying to take away from it. I'm excited. I think this.
But the good thing about it looking like a computer game, which would make sense because the Matrix is a computer simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had that opening, that very opening shot of it looked very surreal, that world.
Yeah.
Different.
And I think there's the effect they'll go through the whole way through, because when you're watching the original one, it was like a bluey, to make you realise. But they'll do that effect that they did in the beginning of the shot for most of the film, so that you know that it's not quite real. Yeah, really good effect.
Yeah, I'm excited, and we don't have to wait too long. It's only a few months.
Yeah.
So that does beg the question then, as they were talking about doing 4 and 5 back to back, weren't they? There's going to be a 5th Matrix film too. Do you think they've already?
Is there?
That's what I heard. I thought we thought they were doing 2 back to back, unless they've crammed it into one movie. Maybe I'm talking out my backside again, but because it's been a while since we talked about any of this stuff, and I'm sure they were talking about doing 2 films. So.
Okay. Wait. One more thing quickly. Just make sure I'm not going mad. If you go to like 228 on this trailer, I was looking at some stills. You've got Trinity screaming, and then I thought it was just echoes of her. They're different people coming out of her.
228.
I think it's 228. Bit where she's sort of standing there screaming with a blue jacket on.
Yeah, I know which bit you're talking about.
And then there's these I thought it was just like a vibration of her, but they look like different people.
Oh yeah.
It's not 228 though.
Oh, okay. What is it?
207.
Oh, 207. Sorry, I don't know. My thing keeps freezing. Yeah, sorry, 207.
Oh yeah. No, it's one other person.
One other person?
You can see that's Trinity and one other actress that you're seeing in there.
So it could be the same as Neo. It's that their memories were put into other people's bodies. There's so many shots though that look like the original movie, because there's a bit where Neo's on his knees, and there's an agent with a gun, pointing at him with the sprinklers going off, which is exactly like Morbius. It was tied up with a helicopter scene.
Even the bit at the end on top of the building looks like the same building that he did his first bullet dodging.
I think that's intentional. That's a nice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's going to be like a multiverse version of the first one. They'll be similar but different because things have changed.
Yeah.
And a bit where he redirects the rocket into the helicopter. And it looks like they're going to fly off the buildings.
Yeah.
I just did a quick bit of Google foo, and apparently they are still talking about Matrix 5. So.
I guess I'll see how well this does.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like a cliffhanger, and then to make them make the next one.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Was if they were planning to do 2 films, surely they'd have filmed it all back to back, and then they'll release it a year down the line, like they did with the 2 and 3, rather than go, we'll do a 5th one, but we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't play well and there's a cliffhanger, then that'll be the end of it. So that's.
Because would you take the red pill or the blue pill? And he goes to pick it and it ends. You have to wait.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm guessing we know we've got Neo appears to be reincarnated and Trinity's reincarnated. I'm guessing the other guy is Morpheus. He has Morpheus's sunglasses.
It seems strange they couldn't get, unless they're keeping him in secret, but they couldn't get Lawrence Fishburne back given his inclusion in the John Wick movies. So.
Yeah, there'll be a reason why he's not there.
Yeah.
He'll be revealed as. I feel like he'll be the one that gets them all out of it. It's like, no, that's not the real Morbius. When the real Morbius will turn up, kind of. There's no way they wouldn't make these with it, and then just had all 3 if he's going to be in the plot.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, very true.
Especially as he's working with him in John Wick. He's not going to turn it down, is he?
No, that's what I was just thinking. I mean, it's an interesting trailer. It doesn't really give a lot away at all. Just a load of, oh, this looks cool, let's watch it. So it's kind of hard to pick out plot details as to what might actually be going on. Yeah.
Well, all that we know is that it looks and feels a lot like the original, which is great. That's what you want. So it looks great. So many things that seem remarkably similar to the original.
Yeah.
Um,
Because the other working title they had was The Matrix. Oh my god, the word just went out my head.
Through the Looking Glass.
No, callback.
No, I was thinking,
Matrix
Liam,
Callback.
you'd have to have it with an R title, so it'd be Matrix Reflections if it was going to be Through the Looking Glass.
Oh, there you go.
All right, I'll take my $100,000 for script writing in a check, please.
That's what the fifth one's going to be called.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a Ross. I'm predicting something now for a year down the line.
There's actually a shot of him, of Neo, with his burnt off eyes being plugged back into the Matrix. 13 seconds.
Oh, hang on, a picture of Neo getting plugged back in?
Yeah, 13 seconds in. It's really quick. If you slowly go step by step, you see him get plugged into the Matrix, and then there's a little bit later on where it's like,
oh yeah,
two things, two sort of things next to each other, and he comes out of it. I don't know if Trinity's in the other one at like 14 seconds.
Yeah, it looks at like 14 seconds. Yeah, you see what looks like two pods facing each other.
Yeah, and then literally just after that, you see Neo looks like he's coming out of it with eyes again. You know, his eyes are burned off in that previous shot.
Well, that begs the question then. Like, do they have the? Well, they must have the machines with the ability to grow and recreate people, because didn't Trinity die outright at the end of 3? Like, she got spiked when they crashed the ship they were using.
I thought she died.
Yeah.
So with that, how they got it up there, it looks like Neo and Trinity have their own exclusive little plug-in area.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I'm excited. Where are you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't brilliantly excited when I first heard they were going to announce a fourth film. Cause it's like, well, as we all said, we love Matrix 1, 2, and 3 kind of.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Great.
The further the more they made, the worse they got.
Yeah.
So you're like, are you going to make another one? It's probably going to be even worse. But this one piqued my interest, so hopefully.
I mean, it's been
long enough since the movies were done that it's.
I think Stuart hit the nail on the coffin with saying that the script must be really good.
The nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Just you're burying this before it's even out. This is... Yeah. No, like and it's being helmed by the Wachowskis, or at least one of them. So they've had time to revise it, write it. It's their baby.
Yeah, I like that they've been able to maintain control of the Matrix. I believe the entire time.
Yeah,
I think that they were the ones that they wrote the original movies. That any computer games or whatnot, they've been involved in all of it. So they've been able to keep that creative control, and it's cool to see that, as you say, at least one of them's back for this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So, guys, that was the trailer to Matrix 4. What do you think about it? Comment below, let us know. Love to know your thoughts. What do you believe is going to be happening in this movie? Is it just going to be a massive homage to the previous 3? Which one of the previous 3 is your favourite? And guys, love to know your thoughts on it. And yeah, you're going to be going to see this, and are you excited for it? Don't forget, if you want to see our reactions, we're doing Stargirl and Titans, and we're going to soon be catching up on Doom Patrol before season 3 starts. So that'll be coming on this channel very soon. We're also on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So please follow us on there. And we also do a podcast. So we've actually done a podcast of this trailer, and we'll be doing lots more podcasts. So anywhere you listen to podcasts, type in those podcasts, and you'll find us there. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. The only way we can make this channel bigger is by your guys' support. So please come and support us by subscribing, and also coming to our Patreon as well, which link is in the description below. And we'll see you very soon for another trailer and reaction.
There was when we were asking when we were asking at the start what was the third one called, I put Matrix 3 into Google, and the second autocomplete question is, why was Matrix 3 so bad?
Wow. No, I want to watch him.